or you're going to hear a lot of creaking and cracking on my body, right? So that's all right. So come to the front of your mat, palms forward, roll those shoulders back, big breath in and big breath out. Feel free to close the eyes here if you'd like to. Feel free to express yourself here. If you have any little last wiggles to get out. Take another big deep breath in. And an open mouth exhale. Open mouth exhale, let it go. Breath in. And exhale. Nice. Plug your fingers down into the ground. Plug your heels into the ground. Feel yourself connected to the earth below you. Bring your chin down towards your chest and set your intention for your practice. Then go ahead and send a kind thought off to someone else. Excellent. Let's go ahead. We're going to start with salutation right from the beginning because we only have 45 minutes, right? So we're going to start. It's a nice, slow, stretchy salutation. Go ahead and bring your arms up overhead. If you can bring them wide, great. If you can look up towards your fingertips, go ahead and do so. Really reach up tall. Yeah. Deep breath in. As much as you can. Keep breathing in. And then exhale, let's come down. Nice forward fold. Bring those hands out wide. Soften through the knees here because we don't know what's going on with our hamstrings yet today, do we? Let the head relax. Shake it yes, shake it no. Maybe find a little movement here. Maybe rock it side to side, whatever feels good. All right, here we go. We're going to shift our weight over to the left foot. Right foot is going to come back towards the back of the mat. Dropping the knee down, top of the foot down, finding that nice little hip flexor stretch. You can come down forward into that hip or go ahead and come up into that hip, pressing forward so you find that stretch. Feel good? Yeah, feels good, right? You be careful with hamstrings. Yep. All right, so hamstring stretch. We're going to come back. So start to walk those hips back towards the heel. Extend that front leg out. Press that front heel into the floor just a little bit, and you'll feel a little tension in the back of the leg. Just check in, make sure it feels okay. And maybe even pull that leg that's extended, pull that hip back a little bit. Feel that? A little bit different stretch maybe. Extend through the spine nice and long. Excellent. Bring it forward. Plant those hands, tuck the toes under, and find your first downward dog. Go ahead and pedal it out. Find a little stretch here. Excellent. We're going to come forward to laying down on the mat, but we're going to come forward, knees down, chin and chest down onto the floor. Keep the hips high. And then let everything sink down into the mat. Ooh, yeah, all right? We're going to do 3 cobras here, starting out really small. So go ahead, come up into a little cobra. You can press with your hands if you sort of stretch. No work here. Pull the shoulder blades back if that feels good. Come on down. Come up a little deeper if you wish. Seeing how that feels. Check in, right? Breath. And feel it back down. One more time. Inhale, feeling that chest up. Deeply if you wish. And bring it back down. We're going to go ahead and find our down dog. So a push up and up or come to tabletop. Tuck those toes. Finding that downward dog. Again, find a little movement here if you're still kind of warming up, checking things out. And then when you're ready, settle those heels down towards the floor. Press your hands forward like you're stretching your mat forward and press the heels back like you're stretching your mat a little bit longer in each direction. Beautiful. Look forward towards your hands. Walk or hop forward. Yeah, we're going to find that halfway lift. So nice flat back, extend through the spine. Soften the knees forward, fold. Beautiful. Inhale, come all the way up. Arms up the side, front of you, whatever feels good. Nice. Now one side, right? Okay, inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale, find that forward fold. Reach out those arms. Yeah. Beautiful. Inhale, find that halfway lift again. Extend through the back. Wherever that for you. And come on down. Plant the hands down, bend those knees if you need to. Shift the weight over to the right. Left foot comes up off the mat, slides back and floats down to the ground. Knee comes down, top foot comes down, and we find, oh, the world's greatest stretch ever, right? It is, at least for me. I don't know if I told you guys that. This used to be my scary stretch. My hip flexors were so tight. It was like this for out fear, and I'm like, yeah. So flexibility is a good thing to work on. All right, here we go. Bring those hips back towards the heel. Toes come off in the front. Again, slide the leg that's extended. Slide that back a couple inches. Press the heel down into the floor. Yeah, find that stretch however it feels good to you. Check in. A lot of times I forgot you could use 2 blocks here too. If this is too intense being coming up for some people. Beautiful. Start to walk those hands forward. Tuck the toes on that back foot. Slide that front foot back into our downward dog. Again, finding whatever position you want with that downward dog. Maybe some movement. Or maybe today you're just like, oh, this one I'm going to be nice and still and focus on my breath. Beautiful. Coming forward, knees, chin, and chest to the ground. And then we melt. Okay. Come up with any cobra you wish. Maybe it's high, maybe it's low, maybe you're going to work. Whatever feels good to you in your body right now. I'm going to really try to really. And slowly come back. Beautiful. Tuck those toes under. Come to tabletop. Bring those knees out nice and wide. Toes are still tucked if you can keep them tucked. If it doesn't feel good, you can untuck. But we're just going to press back into our hips here, into a child's pose. We won't be here too long. We're using this more as a stretch. And notice how if you push with your hands, push back into those hips, you might find a little more stretch into that hip flexor. Beautiful. Come back forward into our tabletop, all fours. You can untuck those toes. And if you'd like, you can come to seated. We're going to do a really quick downward dog workshop, just because, hey, even if we do downward dogs every day, we forget. I noticed recently I was doing my hands too narrow. And what that does is it rounds my back. It also makes it really difficult if your hands are too narrow to fit your body in between them, right? So sitting down, if you're sitting back on your feet, what I want you to do is just relax your shoulders, and you can even just kind of have them to the side. Of course, mine are really long, so I have to hang them down on the ground, right? So I think I have to come up here. You do this too. Come up on the knees, that was good. And then I want you to swing your arms, just swing your arms nice and naturally. And then stop them right in front of you. Yeah, pull the shoulders back really wide so your shoulders are broad across. That's how wide your hands should be. Sometimes people are like, what? Yeah, I like that look. It's I learned something new today look. Yeah, so that is how wide you want to be, because that is where you are in your downward dog, right? Yeah, yeah. Mine's almost to the edge of, this is a wider mat than normal. So that's why it looks like my hands are in, just so you guys know. That's why you can't look at like the teacher of how they're built or what they're using. So yeah, on my regular size mat, my pinkies are pretty much touching yours. So yeah, the other thing is our hips too. Feet together, feet wide. We want a little bit wider. That you can play around with a little bit for what your comfort level is, right? So let's place those hands down in that nice tabletop position. All right, so here we go. We're gonna build our downward dog. It's like build a bear, maybe. I don't know. So those wrists are right underneath the shoulders. We're gonna walk those hands up, just like I like them out a little bit, an inch or so, but it will depend on the length of your arm. You'll figure out what's comfortable for you. But that first piece of how wide it is pretty key. So we got that going for us, right? Nice long back. You can even peek at yourself in the mirror if you can see, right? Pull the belly in. And And then pretend like you're up against a wall and you're just gonna press your lower back a little bit into that wall. So I'm over exaggerating, but I'm pressing up a little bit. Yeah. Notice how your back is nice and flat and broad. Yeah. I'm gonna step off my mat for a second. I'm gonna bring your. Yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. Press it. Okay. There we go. Good. All right. So we got this here. Tuck those toes under. We're gonna go really slow because we want to keep that back position. If it starts to round, I want you to keep your knees back. Once, like I said, if your legs are straight and your back is rounded, that's not good. We want to have bent knees and straight back is better. Does that make sense? Right? Tuck the toes under. Slow, slow, slow. Lift those hips, lift those hips, lift those hips. Try to keep that back flat. You might need to adjust by bringing your feet back a little bit or forward. Yeah. Nice. Drop the hip down a little bit. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. How does that feel? Hold, breathe, close the eyes, check in how that feels, because that is your most beautiful downward dog ever. Ever. All right, come down to knees down, go into child's pose. Think about that pose in your mind right now. Think about how that felt, what you learned. I know it was a lot, but you'll take away whatever was really meant for you. Go ahead, rotate wrists if you need to. Yeah, because now we're gonna have some fun with a little bit of downward dog, right? All right, coming back up to our tabletop, all fours, setting up our perfect downward dog again, right? Hands are up nice and wide, belly's in, nice flat back, tuck those toes under. Find that first downward dog, not first downward dog, the millionth downward dog you've ever done in your life, right? Beautiful. Lift up on your toes, way up on your toes. Then bring your heels over to the left. Like you're just gonna pivot your feet, come over to the left, and you'll notice a little stretch on that right-hand side. Walk those right fingers out in front of you a little bit. Yeah, nice. Bring that hand back. We're gonna go to the other side, so toes up. Pivot those heels to the other side. Same thing, you might find that stretch. If you can, you walk those left hand fingers out to the side a little bit. Beautiful, bring that hand back. Toes come back to the center. We're back in our downward dog. Beautiful. All right, left leg. Let's bring our left leg up nice and high into the sky. Bend the knee. I'm going to bring it behind us. We're opening up for a three-legged dog. Nice stretch here, right? Oh, beautiful. We're going to bring that knee back underneath us. And we're going to bring it around all the way so our heel is up to the outside. Remember the Fulton push-ups? That's exactly where I got this. You can let that back heel come down to the ground. We're going to let the hips come down. Nice and slow. Yeah. And that little stretch will come down the whole way too. But it's a little bit of a stretch, right? This is fallen angel. Actually, we bring the hips up and we bring our hand up. Angel. We're just doing it as a stretch today. But you can do it. You can do it. Trust me. Come on up. Bring that foot back. Downward dog. All right, here we go. Right side. Left leg comes high into the sky. Bend the knee. Open up the hip. Now you know where we're going. We're going through. We're going to come all the way, twist that knee through till the foot is on the other side. Drop the hip down. A little stretch. A little break on the wrist too, right? Right? Yeah. Good. All good. Feel good? Everybody feel good? Excellent. Let's do it one more time a little quicker. We will stay in fallen angel if we like. So come back to our downward dog. So come back to that nice little stretch if you like. Otherwise, we're going into that fallen angel. Left leg comes nice and high towards the sky. You can come up on the toes on that foot that's on the ground. Bend the knee. Reach that foot behind you. You can even look underneath your armpit and see if you can see your toes. Yeah. Bring that knee all the way around and through. Pinky side edge of the foot goes to the floor. You can bring that right hand up towards the ceiling. Yeah. Woo-hoo. Bring it down to the floor. Bring that foot back. Downward dog. Other side. Take a breath, Ava. Take a breath here. Other side. Right foot comes up high into the sky. You can come up on the toes on that left foot. We're going to bend that knee. Look behind us here. If we want to see our toes, we can wiggle our toes. And then bring that knee all the way through. Pinky side, edge of that toe comes down. Reach up and over. Yeah. Woo-hoo, a lot of work. Bring it back down. Back into our downward dog. Knees down, child's pose. Check in. Wiggle those wrists, I know. I purposely, the next series is on, not on our wrists, so yay. All right, ready? Here we go. We're gonna come up towards our tabletop, all fours. Tuck our toes under. Beautiful, find that little stretch. Look forward toward the hands. Walk or hop to the front of our mat and slowly roll on up. We're gonna open up towards Jamie's side. That's easier, left, right, whatever. Hey, you guys, we're going to this side. So guess what? Big foot back, I'm gonna face my lovely Peggy that's in front of me and Jamie that's there. So we're gonna take this nice little goddess pose here to start with. So toes are out a little bit, and we're gonna tuck our tailbone just slightly. We're gonna press our knees back a little bit. Come down to a little stretch. Check in with those hips, those thighs. I know if you feel a little cramp, I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling this a little bit. You might want to find a little movement. Bring the hands up overhead, nice breath in. Exhale, sink a little deeper if you can. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale, let's bring those hands down. Beautiful. Inhale, let's come on up. Bring those toes forward towards the long edge of the mat. Interlace your fingers and bring them up towards the ceiling. Yeah, really reach. And then let's bring them down. Let's bring those toes back out to the side just a little bit. Again, tuck under the tailbone just a little bit. We're just stacking, we're not tucking, so we're just stacking. Tailbone nice and long. Press down. Actually, I'm sorry, let's straighten the legs a little bit. Press down through your hips here. So when you press down, you feel that grounding of the feet, like it feels like there's more energy coming down to the feet. Yeah. Bring those hands back up overhead. Interlace those fingers, press up. Beautiful. And then exhale, come down. Nice little goddess pose. Excellent. Come on up. We're going to step to the front of our mat. Woo. Yeah. All right. Ready for this? We're going to take our right foot and step back into a high lunge. Come on up. Fingers up towards the ceiling. If you want to take a little back bend, you can. And then come forward. Open up into warrior two. Hey, excellent. All right, we're not going to grab onto our legs, but we're going to find a reverse. So I want you to take a reverse. That back hand is going to slide in front of that thigh. Yeah. And you can reach over. You can look down at that foot on the ground or up towards this hand that's up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Come back towards our warrior two. Same thing in front. That hand slides in front of the thigh. You can reach it up and over if that feels good. Press that arm into the thigh if that feels good. You'll open that hip up a little bit. Beautiful. Come back into our center. Same thing. Tick tock. To the back. And back to the front. Nice and slow. One more. You can come down. You can come down all the way to the floor if you like. A little different stretch, right? One more time. Bring it back. And to the front. Yeah, love that breathing. Love that breathing. Bring it back up. Toes come to the long edge of the mat. And we switch. There we go. Guess what? We're on the other side. So hands out nice and wide. Beautiful. We know where we're going. So reverse. Hand comes in front. It's a little more work on those obliques when we don't grab onto the leg, huh? Yeah. Come back towards our center and go to the front. Maybe start out easy, staying up, pressing that arm into the thigh. If that feels good, you'll get a little more twist there. Come back up. Reach back. And back to the front. Maybe this time you touch the floor. Yeah, find that stretch. One more time. Up. Reverse. And back to the floor. Beautiful. Back up towards your center, toes to the long edge of the mat, hands on the hips, press down. Feel that grounding through the feet. Lift up through your spine, pull the shoulders back. You can look up if this feels good to you. And then stack that spine. So maybe tuck in under a little, just like we did with downward dog. Pretend like you're pressing your lower back in, pulling in those abs a little bit. Nice flat back. So that means you might need to soften the knees, right? Flat back, come down with your crown of your head towards the floor. If you need to bring your hands to the floor, that's absolutely fine. You can start to round the back too when you get to the bottom. That feels good. Don't have to stay so rigid. But then engage and see if you can come back up, flat back. Pressing down through those, press down with your hands through those hips. Yeah. Pull the shoulders back. Look up if that feels good. Open it up. Back towards our center. Pull the belly in. Press that lower back. Nice flat back. Here we go. Come on down. Beautiful. Come on up. And back to the center. Big leap, right? Somebody said this is Elise's leap. I always say leap of faith. Back to the front of the mat, right? Big breath in. Exhale. Find that forward fold. Inhale. Halfway lift. Extend through the back. Bring it back down. Step back into our downward dog. Beautiful. Make sure where your hands are. Where are your hands? Get them wide if you need to. Come forward into a high plank. We're going to do a little high plank push-up thing. So if you want to just stay here in high plank and hang out, feel free to do so. Just a little push-up. Just maybe halfway. Yeah. And come back up. And then come back into downward dog. Pull the belly in, really engage. Come forward. Little push-up. Back up. Downward dog. Now where you stopped with that push-up, where you felt like that was where your bottom was, that's where I want you to start up dog this time. So come forward. Little push-up, doesn't have to be big, right? Come up with your head and chest. Lift the feet. Yeah. Press down with the feet, press with the hands, and then find your downward dog. See, I snuck in a chaturanga workshop right there. Here we go. Come forward into our high plank. Dip it down just a little bit. Lift the head and chest. Lift the feet. You can drop the knees down to lift the feet too. And then come back. If you're done, come to child's pose. Otherwise, we're going to do one more. Coming forward. Dip down. Lift the head and chest. Bring the knees down if you need to. Lift the feet. Down with the top of the feet. And then come back. Beautiful. Child's pose. Again. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. All right, we're going to go into one of those things where I was talking that we're going to do some little challenging things, right? We'll get there. So we're going to do that fallen angel like we did, but we're going to go into a pigeon and a split dog. So yeah, how about that? Okay, finding our tabletop, all fours. Pull that belly in, press with that lower back just a little bit, but keeping that back flat. So look out and look under here. We don't want to be down that. We want to be nice and flat. Tuck the toes under, downward dog. All right, here we go. Left leg nice and high into the sky. Bend the knee, bring it back. You can maybe see those toes. Bring that knee around and through. Fallen angel, so we can lift up. Yeah. You're going to bring that hand forward. I like that. It's a big stretch then. Bring that hand down. Here we go. We're going to bring that foot back around. And then if you need to adjust your feet, I just need to adjust my feet. So we're looking back. You can see your foot underneath your elbow or armpit. If you like, let that foot gently touch the ground. Reach up into that foot dog. Yeah. Woo! Look down at your mat because that's where your hand is going to go, that top hand. Bring it around. Bring that knee all the way around for pigeon. Yeah. I know, right? What am I going to do? So you can take a break here with your arms. If you want to stay up and get a little deeper stretch, feel free to do that forward fold over this. Maybe even stay on your elbows or come down all the way. Yeah, a little break on the wrist. And I know this is a lot if you are getting back into yoga. So be mindful, be always honoring your body and what it can do, but knowing its limitations as well. Big breath in, big breath out. All right, we got one more series here on our hands here, so start to come on up. Put the toe under, find that downward dog. Now, I have a little trick that I forgot to tell you. We're in downward dog. You can bring, when we start this, when I tell you to go into three-legged dog, I automatically put my other foot right into the center of the mat. So my left foot, I'm putting into the center of the mat, and then I'm lifting up. I forget to tell people that. You can shift your feet in yoga, right? Bend that knee, open up, three-legged dog. Beautiful. Bring that knee around all the way through the pinky side. Fallen angel. You can reach that hand forward if that feels good. Beautiful. Bring that hand back down to the mat, going into our three-legged dog again. Spin it around all the way. Look back behind you. See those toes underneath the armpit. Gently let those toes land. Reach up with that other hand. Beautiful. Bring it back around. Woo! And bring it all the way through to our pigeon. Oh my. My head is really still tight. And feel free to bring it down today. Check it in. Maybe even take your hands and like pulse them open and close. Yeah. Yeah. We'll work on them. It's practice. So that little achiness that you're feeling maybe in your wrist if you don't, aren't doing a lot of stuff on your hands. Think of it as like, okay, I gotta be careful so I don't overdo it. But you're building up that bone, right? I swear my wrists have they've shrunk. They literally have shrunk. Like bracelets and stuff have shrunk. So yeah, I'm trying to keep that bone density there. All right, tuck your toes under. Come back for a brief downward dog, just to get you out of that pigeon, and then come down to tabletop. Tabletop. Still a little pressure on the wrist, but not quite as bad yet. You can come up onto your fist, your knuckles if you're had a little bit too much, right? All right, we're gonna do a little bird dog, So that's with the hand out in front and the foot out in back, right? So same thing, pulling the belly in, maybe a tiny little press with the lower back. Bring your left foot out. You can use your heel. If it feels better to point the toe, feel free to point the toe. Whichever one feels. Play with it maybe, flex and point. See which one you like. I kind of like the flex today. I'm going to bring my opposite hand out in front of me. Checking in with my balance. This is a lot of core work right here, right? Feel free if you want. You can bring your knee in towards that elbow and bring it back out. Knee into the elbow. Keep on with this nice slow fluid movement. Because you can stay right here. Because remember I said I have a little more advanced position, right? So the next time, maybe you're going to reach out with your hand and foot, and then you're going to bend that knee, reach behind, and find a balanced bow. Yeah. And if you press your foot into your hand, it actually helps you lift up a little bit. And release. Go to the other side. So shake it out, wiggle it out, maybe a little cat cow if you need to. And then we'll move to the other side. So right foot out, press that heel if that feels good. Point flex. Left hand out in front of us. And then start with that nice easy flow. Knee in. Bring it out. Nice and graceful. Long, long, long. And then punch in. Long, long, long. You can stay with this movement or on the next one. Reach out nice and long. Bend that knee up and maybe you shift that leg over towards the left side or whatever side. Bring that hand behind to catch that foot, and then you can place it back in our center. So what I did is I was here, I kind of shifted everything over so I could reach it. And then I came back to center. And then release. Beautiful. Shake out the wrists. I know we've been doing a lot of wrist stuff. We're not going to do wrists next. Chair pose. Yay. Chair pose. Yeah, mighty pose. Right? So here we go. Just a brief little downward dog to get us up to our standing position. So find our downward dog. Look forward towards the hand. You can walk, hop, however you want to get forward. Woo, and then roll it up. Yeah, I wanted to do chair pose today. Roll those shoulders back. In fact, I'll go this direction so it's a little easier to see. Need to. A little shake to release here. Beautiful. All right, so yeah, ready? Here we go. Boy, why did I put this in my head today? Okay. All right, go ahead. Inhale, we'll bring those hands up overhead. Take a nice deep breath in. Like we're sliding down against the wall. Find that lovely chair pose. Vipassana. If the shoulders have had it today, go ahead and like bring your hands up through center. Nice breath in. Shift your weight over to the left. Bring that right foot back into a nice lunge. Oh, notice that little bit of work there? Now nice and gracefully. Nothing to slide forward. See if you can shift. Bring it back. Stand up if you need to. Re-engage. Back down. Shift your weight over to this side. Push the right side. Lift that left toe up. Gracefully slide it back. Nice and strong. Float it back. Back up. Good. Do this again. We're going to do this again. Bring it down to that nice chair. Shift to the left. Float it back. Not holding it very long. You're like, thank God, right? Bring it down. Shift. Float. Okay, we're going to go into a little more advanced position now. We're going to go into a twist and step back. So, hands up, inhale. Exhale, come down. Hands at heart center for everybody this time. This time, left elbow to that right knee. Take a peek. If that left knee is pulled way forward, pull it back. So we're looking here. Now you can stay here. If you're feeling nice and stable, shift your weight over to that right foot, same side as your elbow. Come up on that left toe. Ooh, yeah. Float it back. Look down at the floor. Will help your balance to do this. And bring it back. Let's do this side again here. Lift that up. Look down at the floor. Float that foot back as I fall. And bring it back. Rotate it back to the center. And one up. Shake it out if you need to. Here we go. Inhale up. Towards center. Elbow to the knee. Check in with the knee if that other side is pulled forward. Back. Here we go. Towards the floor. Weights on that left foot. Lift that right foot up. Pull it back. Beautiful. Pull it back. Back to the center. Palms forward. Rotate those shoulders back. Close the eyes for just a moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. Nice. Inhale, bring those hands up overhead. Back into that chair form. Bring those hands at heart center if you like. Let's do that. Right where the hands at heart center. Shift your weight over to the left. Step back. That nice high lunge, right? Bring those hands behind you. Clasp them together. Pull them open. Open the chest. Open the heart. Looking up. Changing the gaze will change your balance. So be mindful here. We're going to come into humble warrior. So chest comes down towards that front thigh. You can either rest on that thigh or you can bring it lower and you can lift those hands up towards the ceiling. Again, looking straight down at the floor will help your balance here. Beautiful. Start to bring those hands down towards your back and it'll kind of naturally lift you back up. And when you get here, you can release, bring those hands up, sweep back. Bring your hands at center. And step forward. You forgot about the wrist, didn't you? All right, so inhale up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Vipassana, mighty pose. Use your breath, use your strength here. Here we go. Shift the weight to the right, left foot comes back. Yeah. All right, here we go. hands back down. Clasp those hands together. Draw them along the tailbone. Lift that chest. Bring that chest down. Open up the hands. Yeah. Bring the hands down to the lower back. Naturally lifting this up. Woo! Now I was just going to cue you through this next session because it has that, it's a progression, but I'm going to show you ahead of time so you're not down trying to figure it out. So I'm going to do this quick. So if I fall all over, that's just it. We're going to come down really quickly to our chair. We'll come back into our lovely lunge. We're going to bring our hands down to the ground and straighten a little bit. And then we're going to come forward with this foot behind, in a little figure four. I'm going to grab on with my left hand, the right foot, so it's going to be a cross. We can play around with balance here, right? You might play with balance and come up. Most where we're going is crossing. So you're like, ah. So honor your body. Whatever we get today, we're happy with, right? Whatever we get today, we don't know. We don't know. It's like that mystery bag of like, oh, I got a ring. Oh, I got a rubber ball. Oh, I got an 8. Okay, whatever. Okay, so you can bring those hands up overhead. Our legs are nice and warm. We're coming into that chair, right? Woo! Let's shift our weight over to the left foot. Let that right foot back. Here we go. So inhale, bring those hands up overhead. Bring the hands down to the floor. Feel free to bend both knees if you need to, or slide that back foot back with those hands to the floor. Straighten that front knee just a little bit. You can do pyramid. You can just straighten it a little bit. Looking forward. Look forward towards the front of your mat. We're going to press up that back foot until we're standing on one leg. Maybe this is where you're at today. Just stand here. Bend that knee and bring it behind you like a figure four. You're like, hey, that's right by my left hand. Left hand reaches towards that right foot. Look down at the floor. And then you can play around. Just trying to lift up, trying to lift up, trying to lift up. Oh, I am shaky today. Maybe it's all this chair. But once you stand up, that's when you can get a little bit of press in here. And maybe come down a little. The standing leg does not need to be straight. Mine is bent. But now the hard part, coming back down. We bring it back down, bring it back down, bring it back down. Then we bring that foot back down to the ground. We find a nice crouch, exhale, then roll up. Inhale. That's fine. You gotta do the other side. You're like, I don't know. There's a lot of sweaty. All right, inhale, bring the hands up overhead. Find that chair, move Vipassana. This is mighty pose, right? Find your power here. Find your power here. Shift over to the right. Left foot comes back. Oh, we don't know what we're going to get with this one, right? Inhale, bring those hands up overhead. Bring those hands down to the floor. Excellent. Straighten that front leg a little bit if you need a little stretch. And then go ahead, you can bend it. Look forward in front of your mat. Bring that leg behind you in that figure four. It's right by that right hand, right? Grab on with that foot and then see what we can do. Maybe you're going to lift up and you're like, nope, and you come back down to the floor. And that's totally okay. Once maybe we get to that standing, we can start to expand, and then maybe we tip down a little. I mean, we're crap today. I'm not even tipping down much today. I'm like, yeah, this is it for me. Pressing the left foot. Get ready. Bring it nice and slow. Back down to the ground. Release that foot. Ooh. Really press your chest down. When you're done with this, press your chest down onto the thighs and really exhale everything. Then roll up and inhale. Roll up and inhale. Roll those shoulders back, palms forward. Inhale, bring those hands up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Extend through that back. Exhale, bring it down. Plant those hands down onto the floor. Step back into our downward dog. Beautiful. Come forward into a high plank. Little tiny bend, push up into up dog. Back into our downward dog. Knees down nice and wide on the mat, toes touch. Press those hands back, pressing those hips back. Inhale and exhale. If you need that stretch, feel free to continue to press back a little bit or just melt into the mat. Feel that grounding of the forehead down into the mat. Bring your thoughts back to the intention you set for your practice. See where you're at with that today. Bring your thoughts back to that kind thought you sent to someone else. Excellent. Slowly start to come back up. Back to seated. We're going to come down for our Shavasana. So feet are out nice and wide on the mat and facing. Bring your hands behind your thighs. Roll on down. Maybe bring those knees into the chest. Give it a little rock side to side. We didn't really do any twists today, so I'm gonna find a little twist here, but if you have another pose that you want to finish up with today, you can. So I'm gonna bring my hands up nice and wide. I'm gonna pretend like I'm sitting in a chair, and I'm gonna bring my knees over to one side. Doesn't matter whichever side you want. The knees do not need to stay together. They can slide, one can be farther out than the other. You can extend the top leg out if that feels good. And you can look over towards the opposite shoulder if that feels good. If you want a little more twist, you can even pull that top hip a little bit away from the floor. Notice it raises up that side and that shoulder. And then you can release everything, sink it down. Stay here forever, right? Bring those knees up towards the ceiling. Give it a moment, maybe even just a little rock or draw little circles with the knees here. And then when you're ready, let those knees fall over towards the other side. Same thing, you can look in the opposite direction. You can extend that top leg. Find the twist that works best for you. Slowly, mindfully, bringing it back to center again. Maybe finding those little circles with the knees, whatever it needs for you in your back today. And then finally, give yourself a nice hug. Bring those knees in, forehead up towards the knees, squeezing everything tight, tight, tight. Honor yourself, honor others. Take that full body stretch, fingers to one end of the room, toes to the other. Big breath in. Open mouth, exhale, bring it down, hands at your side, opening up, taking space on your mat. I think we did a vigorous enough practice for today. But just do a scan from the top of your head all the way down to your toes, making sure that everything feels relaxed and comfortable. If you're not sure, go ahead and tense that muscle up and then let it go. Stop. I invite you to bring your awareness back to maybe starting to breathe a little more deeply. Feeling the chest and the belly rise. Start to bring some movement to the fingers, the toes. Maybe brushing the thumb across the fingertips. Back that sensation of touch. Whenever you are ready, feel free to move to one side or the other, or just spend these last few moments here. Taking your time, slowly, mindfully, invite you to come back up to a seated position. Welcome you to bring your hands at heart center if you wish. Thank each and every one of you for joining me in today's practice, for allowing me to guide you as we learn some things together. The Light and Teacher in me honors the Light and Teacher in each one of you. Namaste.